Thank you. So Hanaa, thank you so much for this presentation. I have a question about your portraits, which are extremely powerful. And the idea of composing them with burned canvas is just brilliant, I think. And about the gaze, you said there was a quotation saying this is, they're gazing at the coming harrowing experience, but is it also a gaze, they are gazing at us? In other words, my question is, these portraits, are they, why have you made them? Is this an homage to them? Is this a way of testifying for them? I would like you to say something about that. Thank you.
Yeah, and as you know, there is, I mean, where is there? There's a lot of victims in one explosion or whatever. There is commemoration for them. These 408 victims, they have no commemoration for them. There is no memorial for them. So I said, I was witness, because I was in Iraq in that time, and this is big thing happened in one night. And I was in Baghdad, and I went with my friend to visit the shelter after 3 months. And when we visit the shelter, it was still toxic, and we saw the pictures in the wall. And at that time, I had no good technique to do something for them. And when I went to Britain and they start to search internet and start to collect their portrait, and this portrait on internet start like they gaze on me, it just haunted me, and said I would like to do for them something. Maybe I found something, and then just in my studio come say, why I don't do for them portraiture from burned canvas, which is the same way when they incinerate to death. Because I saw something, we did really brilliant booklet about them, because there's photograph about somebody which is still in the shelter, I mean actual shelter, still the shadow of the body there, which is by smoke. So, and then this gave me the idea, and I start to build the project. And I'm lucky enough, really lucky, to a curator of MoMA Museum to come to the studio and select the work to put it in America, specifically in New York, to exhibit this part of this project. So I feel really relieved to give them something back to this victim, and I, you know, it is the other part of the project. So hopefully I answered your question. Yeah, thank you so much.
Diane has a question. Hello.
Yeah, hi everybody, and hi Dr. Hanaa, I miss you so much. So let's talk about, if you want to say, what is new about our new pain, or pains, if I can add S to the pain. So if I have a note about this one. It is the temporality of the fiasco and the prolonged of the disappointment. In Arabic, وقتية الشعور بالفشل وخيبة الأمل المطولة. So my question is, are we becoming a big sponge, Dr. Hanaa?
Maybe yes. Maybe yes. I mean, you know, it is according to our experience and how we adjust the pain. I mean, it is all about suffering. I mean, it is all about suffering. When I saw many artwork, and Bayan maybe saw this, I mean, there is a lot of artists, a lot of writer. I mean, just present the suffer of the human, but still, I mean, maybe we are sponge. I mean, but still, maybe art give us relief or highlight something, but in the end, the art or the other thing will not do anything for our suffer. And I don't know, really, this is as well big a question, Bayan, if we are a sponge or not. And I really can't answer it, because we are all of us in the same page, in the same boat, in the same thing. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Hello.
Hi, hi everyone. Thank you for your invitation for this lovely talk. Professor Razak, I have a comment for you rather than a question. I'm a PhD candidate at the School of Communication at University. So I spend a lot of my time reading news and, being um, suffering from a mild neurosis 24/7, as you know, the nature of the news. But what I found interesting about your presentation was that I could feel elements of my, self-imposed everyday neurosis uh, being reflected in your work because of your experience with the COVID and the isolation, and some might even say trauma surrounding it. And some of the terms that you have used in your presentation, such as imperialism or colonialism, fiasco, apocalypse, I think some elements of these already existed in societies. It's just that the COVID has really, the COVID-19 pandemic has really sort of crystallized it. So it has made those issues more salient, and those fault lines, as I would say, more prominent, right? And through art and the artistic method, we can deal with such complexities in our life, because as with social science students or empiricists who are interested in one solid point or a fact or a thesis, in the artistic method, I think it is more liberal, it is more emancipating, and offers a way to deal with these complex fault lines and issues that COVID has made more salient. And I think this is also a way to look at moving the art from the domain of academic boardrooms and talk among experts, and bring them to the street, to the ordinary people, and that can make our experience less traumatic, hopefully, in the future. So this is my 2 cents on this. Thank you.
I mean, I agree with you. What you said. When you said everything it is there, but the pandemic just crystallized all these things. So it is exist. But this, as I said, it is whistleblower to us. This pandemic to give us this chance to rethink about our suffering and put them in the light. And I agree with you. The art now, it is in bigger questions. So it is to put the art for people in the street, which is now it is they call it a blue board project, to put the art actually in the street, in the bus stop, and start in the New York and other cities. So the people, they don't need to go to the museum or gallery to see the artwork, so they can see it through their everyday life.
Yes, coming back to the core of your presentation, and this really dark image of all what carried in the fiasco of humanity, I would love that you give us some hope, esperanza. That's what we hope for. And I think, do you think that art alone can help us in having that? Because we know that in between the prayers and the governments and the fiasco from everywhere around, we can't help it. We can't help anything. We are the victims. We are the one gazing to the victims, and the victims gazing to us, and they are doing things to us. So can you give us some sort of hope? I mean, is art enough to help us in overcoming all these fiasco from everywhere?
I don't think art could help, actually, maybe help in the small amount, and if it is really honest art. I think our suffering, it is our suffering, and we deal with it, and how we go out of it. Some people, they couldn't. I mean, just yesterday, there is a presentation from a student about artist she commits suicide from her suffering about this in New York. And then, and some people could survive, and we end up with a very good spirit, healthy spirit, and with a good soul. And then this is what helped. And some, of course, they couldn't survive. So I think not art, it is a complicated thing, situation, and we are as a human, maybe we will find our way to go through it. I mean, it is not about just a pandemic. It is pandemic, it is not pandemic, it is just the actual crisis. It is, as I said in the beginning, it is just whistleblower about our suffering. So hopefully the human get the lesson before all of them vanishing from this planet.
One point that you raised that seems very important to me is when you said, can we trust human criteria? And this means how to question everything that surrounds us, how to question the chosen criteria, the chosen measurements for things, for defining normality, abnormality, what it should be and what should not be. So I think this pandemic context that led us, I think most of us period. So this is also in play, and I think this is one of the main lessons. Reassess the world in which we are and really go deep in the definition of things, and then maybe, you know, discuss it and try to figure out new ways of living and new ways of behaving, and the interactions as well, how to make them evolve. So like this was one of the main points that interested me.
So thank you so much, Dr. Hanaa, for the valuable talk and presentation, especially the part when you share your art, the amazing art and amazing technique. I like it so much, and thank you for everyone join us today, tonight, and thank you, Nevyne, again.
Thank you. It's always a nice space of sharing ideas, and I think that there are more debates that are going through our minds, all of us, and maybe we can make another session to talk more deeply about certain topics that you all mentioned, because I think it's important to discuss it and to really reflect on it. So if there's no other questions, we will end our meeting tonight. Thank you again very much, Dr. Hanaa. And again, if you want to have our updates, you can send us your emails or follow us on Instagram, ArtConceptPH. And we will be happy to hear from you, to have ideas as well. If you want to share something, or if you have specific topics you would like to hear about. This is also the goal of Agora is to have this open platform and to share with you.